Today on Eat Sleep Nerd, we're reviewing and discussing Argylle. Or maybe we're not, but maybe we are. Unless there's a twist. But we are, but we're not. We are.
Welcome back to Eat Sleep Nerd. We have our first movie review of the year. This one is Matthew Vaughn's Argylle. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and joining me as a panel of geeks, we got Jason Summer, we got Nick Murphy, we got Josh Winter, we got Christian James. We have all just gone to see this movie together on opening night. So before we get into spoiler discussion, I just want to know what you guys thought about this movie overall.
It was a silly, romping good time.
Romping?
Yeah.
It's a romp.
Yeah.
I'd call it a romp.
Yeah. I would say if you ever seen The Kingsman,
It's
Same
definitely
guy.
a Matthew
Same
Vaughn
guy.
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
For better or worse, it's a Matthew Vaughn movie.
I needed more cat.
I did not.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt the amount of cat was just right.
I could. Yeah. That cat was CGI, wasn't it?
I would hope so.
I think that whole
They were literally
the
throwing
whole
it off a
time. I think
building.
it's
I feel
CGI.
like 70% of the time it was me.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, I think towards the end, I was like, it kind of feels like this is the Black Widow Hawkeye story that we should have gotten. Kind of a backstory.
Not everything's about the MCU.
I'm just saying, like, I was just like, I wish that they had done this treatment for them because we kind of get a couple spy story.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we could really figure out what happened in Budapest.
Right. Yes. Precisely that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love that
Yes.
movie.
Right.
Budapest.
I was going to say,
Pest.
shout out for saying Pesh.
Right.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a good movie as long as you don't take it too seriously, which I think is the best thing the
Right.
movie did. It didn't take
Yeah.
itself too
No.
seriously.
Yeah.
It had no problem placing its tongue firmly in its cheek.
Yeah.
Corey's wondering where I was
Oh,
going.
yeah.
It's been a long night.
Who else?
What'd you think?
Corey left saying he had a
Yes.
thought.
I had two very polarizing experiences with this movie. The first hour, I was bored out of my mind.
Really?
I was like, this is a dumb movie.
Okay.
I'm not laughing. I'm not having a good time.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It just kind of felt pointless. And then it started picking up when the twists started coming in. And I didn't really see most of the twists coming. Some of them, yeah, sure. But they just also kept layering on twists, which is great for a spy thriller.
Right.
And so by the end of the movie, I was like, okay, I had a pretty good time. But
Yeah.
the first half of that movie, I'm just like, wow, cut that down like to 5 minutes and I'll be good to go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also could have used more Henry Cavill.
I was going to say, if you cut down the beginning of the movie to 5 minutes, you would have.
Cut out Henry
Essentially,
Cavill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Henry Cavill is not in this movie nearly as much as you expected him to be.
I, for example, would not put him in the middle of the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now,
Yeah,
granted, it's meant to be kind of misleading.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like, who is Argylle?
right.
But
Dua Lipa, although an important figure for the movie, also not in the movie nearly as much as you would have thought.
Or John Cena.
Or John Cena.
Of course,
But they are.
see him.
But they are kind of. Like
That was very
yeah.
funny.
yeah, so they are kind of in
Yeah.
it. But we'll get to that later.
yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. So
it sounds like
Right.
mostly positive
yeah,
stuff.
I had a blast.
Okay.
It was a highly stylized movie. Went in looking for a good time, had a good time, and I was impressed. And I think that all the reviews that it's getting knocked, I think are not fair.
Okay.
Well, it's like you wouldn't go in to watch Talladega Nights the same way that you go in to watch Schindler's List.
Sure. Or Talladega
And
Nights to
that's-
watch Days of Thunder.
Yeah, and that's the no. I compare everything to Schindler's List,
I think
and
that's the new rating scale.
on a scale of
Talladega Nights to Days of
Schindler's-
Thunder.
Not that
Or no.
Talladega Nights is a bad movie, but
Right.
like that's
It's a different kind of movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. So are we saying Talladega Nights to Days of Thunder or Talladega Nights to Schindler's List?
Schindler's List.
Yeah, Schindler's
Okay,
List. That's
all
the
right.
scale. That's,
On a seriousness scale.
that like
Yeah.
hurt my brain. So I was like, wait, what?
But no, I mean, but that's my point though. Like everyone who knocks this movie went into it trying to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And that's the best piece of advice I can give you. You will have a fun time
Mhm,
if you just go into this movie and turn your brain off.
mhm.
And skip the first half of it.
according to
understand
Corey.
how you watch a
according to
movie.
Corey.
Yeah, I don't understand why
I actually
how you
thoroughly
watch this
enjoyed the
movie.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first part was great.
Like seriously, like with that haircut.
Okay, that was the biggest problem for me. They never explained why he has the haircut.
I was really hoping
Because it was just
It's just fantasy.
yeah, exactly. It's fantasy. It's nothing that anybody would wear in real life.
Or fake life. Why would
One of
anyone
the
have that hair?
single most attractive men on the face of the planet would never have that haircut in real life.
He
It's
had-
supposed to tell you right off the bat this is not real.
He had 2 horrible wigs.
We're actually starting. We're starting to delve into spoiler territory. Actually,
Yeah. So before we do that,
yeah.
mostly positive
Yeah.
stuff. Any negative stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Cat.
It's not.
I see. For me, the second half of the movie went on too long, and
I agree with that.
there were some really great, clever action scenes, but there were too many of them, and I kind of feel like you should have done one or the other,
Could they have been combined into
or been
one
combined. Yeah,
action?
because they were long, drawn out, stylized action scenes, which were really fun. But we'll talk about them later. But they had 2 long action scenes in a row, both stylized, and I kept thinking, like, as much as I liked them both,
did we need both?
did we need both?
Yeah.
And I don't think we did. And it just got. And then there was a longer action scene after that, and it just got too much.
That's the one that got me.
Yeah.
The last one.
Right.
I was like, this is
Yeah,
come on.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
So I mean, separate, they were all good, but I think one and a half or 2 of them should have been left on the cutting room floor.
Okay.
Just for time. Just too much.
You almost spilled it.
It just did that. I
gave
just
you-
hit that.
Mm.
Okay.
Such a worry ward.
War.
What about
This
you,
is a
Josh?
heavy mug.
What about you? You had a negative.
I mean, it's again the twistiness is a big part of the story.
Yeah.
Like it is literally the story. Kind of like the action scenes. Could we have excised 15 minutes of this
Good word.
and gotten it to a mean 2 hours? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Like again, don't get me wrong. It never got to the point where I was just like, but yeah, towards the end it was like, okay, we know where this is going. Let's just get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just get there. But no, it was not to the point where I was just like, no, it was fun.
Christian? Nick?
I mean, same.
Okay.
Because this movie, it was kind of resembles the quirkiness of Austin Powers,
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
but nothing really drug on that long in Austin Powers. We could have been like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this happened, cool,
You got the joke
Next
and then they
scene.
moved on. Yeah.
boom.
And it is funny. It is a funny movie.
Sure.
It is very much by the end of it, it's a rom-com. It didn't feel like that at the beginning of it.
No,
And it wasn't. The first half is not a rom-com. The second half is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool that it changes genres in the middle of it, but not in a super obvious way.
I both liked and disliked how not gory it was.
Mm.
Because
Felt like it should have been.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
at least a little
Sometimes.
bit more. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes. Because like he would, the Sam Rockwell's character, Aiden, several times, would get pummeled and beat up and stuff, and he had a couple bruises, like that. It just would have been, it would have been a little better, I think, if it was just a little more gory.
I have to imagine that was a money decision because this is already such a niche film. Do you even want to push it further into the number of people who can cut into the number of people who can come into it by making it R?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rating-
I just wanted a little bit more than an ink blot from gunshots.
right. Yeah, just a touch more of believability.
Just like little
Just a little
spurt.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is PG-13. I did hear some F-bombs in there, but I guess they were under the threshold.
That's
Yeah.
exactly one. That's
Yeah.
exactly one. You get one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Everybody gets one.
All right, so I want to do something different here.
Mm.
We usually say the scores for the end, but before we get into our discussion, I want the scores to drive the discussion. So I'm going to do scores now.
Okay.
All right. So
Immediate.
if you are new here, our scale, our review scale is on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. And Jason introduced decimal points, much to our dismay, but we have embraced them. So we do allow.
You now love my decimal points. It is a thing that you know what? Fine. Just keep going. Whatever.
I love you.
We tolerate your score.
Tolerate. Put my okay.
All right. So we have 5 of us here, which means after we give all of our individual scores, we average everything together to give us an overall Eat Sleep Nerd score. So who wants to go first and get this?
I'm just guessed.
Okay.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, I was just about to say, can we just?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an
We
old-
should. We should.
It's an old spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I don't.
It can be
edit it.
updated.
Yeah. Like
I do it daily.
We're doing it now.
so. What I think you do is you click on F1.
I don't want to break the. But I'll change it later.
You click on F.
Change it later. It's fine.
So guess. What did you think of?
let's go guest number
Oh,
1
God,
first.
that was so funny.
Yeah, start with.
I mean, I literally
You don't have to go first.
My score
Oh, I wasn't even listening. What's your score?
4.
You
For-
did
for-
kind of say it quickly and under the radar.
For
I
what?
heard you.
Corey looked me in my eyes while I said 4.
For what?
Out of
Oh,
5.
oh yeah. Let's see. Remember this now?
Oh yeah, this has been a second. 4.
Yeah, there weren't many objects in this.
Yeah, there's not a lot of.
4.
You know what? Just because she wasn't in it much. 4 Dua Lipas. Out of 5.
All
So
right.
4 tulips.
All right.
Excuse.
Dua
Dua.
Lip-
And then lips. Lip. I don't know if that's right.
That
was a stretch.
I'm gonna go next. I would give yet again the first half. I would give like a 2, but the second half like a 4. So I got to go right there in the middle
it's
for a
6.
3. I'm gonna go with 3 out of 5.
We're
wants to
not
go
listening
next?
to you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
They're adding instead of averaging. Just
I'll go.
Go for it. Guess
I'm
1.
cool with a 4.
3 felt too low.
Yeah, I agree. And 3.5 is still
It was
too
better
low.
than a 3.
I think 4 is good.
I don't think I've ever given a decimal, so I'm just keeping it at 3.
What did I give Oppenheimer?
Which guess were you?
That's a good burn.
What? I don't know. Either you or Britt was a 4, someone else was a 3.5.
I don't think I gave it a 4.
Wow.
Okay, this is as good as Oppenheimer. Give this 4 atomic bombs.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 more.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
What brought it down for you?
Towards the end of the movie, I was kind of like,
So
we
just
need to
those 5
finish
scenes,
this. We just need to like. I was getting like ready to go. Like it.
I wish you hadn't said that because I agree. Mine's
Yeah.
3.75.
Getting easily influenced.
No, it was my original thought. He just said it.
4.25. We're back where we started.
Wait, are you going up? Are you
Yeah, I'm
actually going up?
4.25.
He
Okay.
needs to average it out. Is that what that
Mhm.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Christian,
Math.
bring it home.
Um, I kind of felt the same by the end. I was like, okay, we're just overdoing this by now. But at the same time, my shtick,
Yeah.
I like that
Okay.
kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
I thought
yeah.
your shtick was horror movies.
I mean,
Are we gonna go
that's
see?
my shtick.
Are we gonna go see that Stone Age survival horror movie?
No, I want to see the Omen movie.
Oh, right. Yeah. The
Yeah.
first original Omen, or what they
Original
called it.
Omen.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Omen the beginning.
prequel Omen, whatever. Yeah.
Omen begins.
I'm gonna be busy.
Proman.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give a 4.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
if you can animate like the 4 bursting through a door a little bit into
Bursting.
like the.
How much time do you think he's gonna put into this?
He can't even.
But yeah, he came and
My
changed
name.
names. That's what I'm saying.
You obviously can't edit these sheets. Is what I was told.
Wow.
So,
All right. So if you have not been doing that
He
math
has a
yourself,
formula set up.
I got a
Sorry.
formula.
Yeah, that's what it is.
if you have not been doing the math yourself, I will hold our overall score just for a second because I want to look at Rotten Tomatoes right now. And yet again, this is we're recording this the day that this movie officially hits theaters, so this is still early stuff. But on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and as a reminder for how Rotten Tomatoes works, it's not the average of the scores; it's actually how many of the scores were good. So in this case, on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is at 35% right now. So saying that 35% of the critic scores have been positive. That's low.
Yeah.
That is a rotten score.
They get a splat.
The audience score.
it's one of those Warner Brothers scores.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. The audience score is right now a 65%. So while that is a pretty big difference between critic and audience score, which is pretty typical for the movies we watch, that's still a pretty low audience score.
Yeah.
It's a specialized cup of tea.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is like Christian was saying. It's very niche. It's very stylized action. You're almost at a point where you have to like or want to see some of these actors too. I think.
Sure.
And that helped a lot.
yeah.
I liked
I mean,
literally everyone who was in this movie.
And granted, we went to go see this for Henry Cavill.
It was a nice surprise to see Samuel L. Jackson there.
I kind of forgot he was in it.
Other than the picture on the.
I forgot he was in it until he showed
Yeah,
up.
so did I. Though.
I
I
didn't even
totally had
look
no.
at
I honestly had no clue he was in it. Dude.
Yeah.
All right. So our score actually does kind of line up with the Rotten Tomatoes audience score right now. We are
I
at
was
a
dead on
we are at a 3.7 out of 5.
because I raised mine to a
Yeah. So yet again, we're lining up pretty evenly with audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Cora Launderer.
let's go ahead and get into some spoilers.
Yes.
Um,
Sorry, that's
and
your line.
I'm not sure how much there is to talk about because yet again, this is not like a Marvel movie where there's lore to connect everything to. But I do want to kind of break this movie down a little bit. So yet again, we forgot to read the synopsis. Argylle, a reclusive author who writes espionage novels about a secret agent in a global spy syndicate, realizes the plot of the new book she's writing starts to mirror real-life events in real time. So, do you think the movie delivered on that synopsis?
I don't. It's kind of not what happened.
That was the setup, but that's not what
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the first 5 minutes, then it kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, like she stopped writing when they got to the Albert place, right?
Yeah.
She was just done. That was maybe 30 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
She was like done writing.
Yeah.
There was no more writing. Not
Yeah.
enough
People
time.
were like, "Do we get up now? Is
Yeah.
that it?"
So I have a whole laundry list of things we could talk about, but I'm going to
Sure.
divert. I want to
Direct. Guide.
guide,
Mhm.
let you guys lead.
Present.
What are some things you want to talk about, if anything? What are
I
some?
love Sam Rockwell.
He was,
I know.
He was a
Yeah.
standout actor in this
he was
one.
very good.
Well, he always is. That's the thing
Yeah.
about Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Like, name a bad Sam Rockwell role.
Have we seen him as like an action hero before, though? Like a true action hero?
I don't.
Well, so that was kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Like, neither Bryce Dallas Howard or Sam Rockwell are action stars, and they carried a pretty heavy action movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very weird pairing, but it kind of worked.
Yeah, and they
And he
did it well.
a good job doing it. Yeah.
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 There, I was surprised at the moments of tenderness that came through in this movie, and they weren't misplaced. In a movie like this, where everything's very stylized and everything's a little on the fantastic side, there was some somberness and some touching moments which landed well. I think, particularly when we start delving into the relationship between Sam Rockwell's character and Bryce Dallas Howard's character.
Which didn't even materialize until like the last third of the movie.
But there was enough of a setup for the characters that it worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think was interesting. And then of course there's the stylized action scenes, which I thought, particularly with the colored fog.
The smoke, yeah. That was
I
pretty cool.
loved that scene so much. It was so unrealistic.
much
It
that
was
it-
great.
Could have been the last action scene.
That should have been it.
That was the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it kept finaleing.
Yeah, the oil skating was stupid.
The
Yeah.
oil scene could have been cut.
It was a lot.
Yeah. I was like, that's not how that works.
No.
Yeah.
And in
I
fact, I'm like,
think- right.
wouldn't the blades cause a spark on the concrete? And then, anyway, so yeah.
And then she shot everyone anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
We were skating on oil and not shooting weapons because shooting the weapons would set the oil on fire, and that's how come we did the ice skating. But then we started shooting weapons anyway.
I really
That's what happened.
enjoyed Bryan Cranston.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Always
think
delightful.
he actually him and Catherine O'Hara were
She was
really good
fantastic.
together.
Yeah.
And then that first twist, which I guess we kind of saw. I didn't see him as the dad coming, but,
No, not at
but
all.
we saw, or at least I kind of saw that they were working together. I don't know why, which of course they explained, but I thought the two of them were really good, and it made Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard's characters more. It made us want like them more,
Mhm.
like high school.
Yes.
It made us like their characters more because of how evil the other two were.
Yeah.
And they had to work together. Because there was in the back of my head, I was like, is Sam Rockwell playing her a little bit? But then it turns out that she was the original player in that,
right.
which was really cool. I don't know. It was. I think the villains in this made the protagonists.
Didn't you complain last episode about people having their phone on?
Yeah, I put it on theater mode. My bad. Everything is it's quiet now. It's quiet.
Who is it?
I don't know. I didn't.
Okay, popular.
I am.
Literally everyone you know is here. Who is this?
No, so to your point with the twists, I was pleasantly surprised that the twists were twisty.
Yes.
Like, I saw maybe a couple of them coming, like, I don't know, them working together. But I when it started, like, teasing that Sam Rockwell might have been the bad guy, I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. When they started teasing pretty much anything, like, when the twist where it started showing that she was possibly a bad guy, I was like, oh, this is intriguing. Is this about to be a movie where you start rooting for the bad guy? And I was there for it. I believed it. And then it twists back to her being the good guy.
Right.
Like,
But
I
she was a bad guy. That's the thing. In the past, she was a bad guy.
The double
Yes.
cross.
Yeah.
triple cross.
Triple cross.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there were convincing
Quad cross.
twists,
Yeah.
which is pretty hard to pull off consistently.
Well, it's because every time there was a twist that made you roll your eyes, it would de-twist or retwist later in a way that made it feel worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't like when he got shot in the heart thing. I didn't like that. I was like,
But they didn't either. And that's what made it work.
He didn't like it. He was like, "What?"
I wanted them to follow through with that because I wanted her to be the bad guy.
Mm.
Like, I want there to be a movie.
Corey wanted her to break bad.
Yes.
She didn't stick the landing for him.
She didn't stick the landing.
Didn't stick the
But it's
landing.
because I was
Yeah,
like,
great
are we
show.
finally getting a movie where you actually are tricked into rooting for the bad guy? Instead of being like an anti-hero, like, no, it's actually just the bad guy.
Right.
She actually killed the good guy.
Right.
But it didn't. She was the good guy.
Right. Yeah. No, and towards the end, I could kind of see it actually going either way. Like, and they could have finished it with her killing Sam Rockwell's character and Aiden, right? Aiden. Yeah. And yeah. So, they were fun. One of the things I thought was really clever at the beginning of the movie was when her hallucinations were kicking in when she first meets Aiden on the train, and they're flipping back and forth between Henry Cavill and Sam Rockwell, and they're fighting, and it was almost seamless, and I loved it.
See, I disagree. I didn't think it was seamless.
Really?
Because every time they did it, it was disguised with a blink, and I thought the blink was so freaking annoying.
See, to me, I thought it was a clever way of doing it.
it was annoying.
Oh.
Yeah.
It got in the way.
I'm with
Yeah.
you, Jason.
It
Like, I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty cool.
was
Like,
different.
like, especially since like close quarter like action like
Yeah.
that is so like engaging because you're like, oh
Yeah,
god, what's happening?
Right.
Even though it was like a lot of like the flippy camera stuff that
Mhm.
a lot of people talk
To
about. I'm
disguise
like,
the fighting.
eh.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't not like it.
Yeah.
My fourth note on my list
Mm.
of notes
Was
says the blinking became annoying.
okay.
That was it. That was my note.
Okay.
It was annoying. I
Alright.
thought it was unnecessary.
I mean,
I think that it was a great idea, and I think they did it well. Just the blinking was too much.
so if
I
they had
know.
done a more seamless way to do that, it would have been way better for you.
I think just a camera cut, and it's a different person.
Oh,
And
so
then
just
camera cut
not
back.
so just cutting.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
blinking.
I think cutting would have been fun.
So the animation of the blinking is what just
Literally
Yeah,
just
it
the
was
animation.
just-
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Like, I couldn't
I like
focus.
Yeah. I like the switching back and forth. I did not like how they did it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I mean,
But
Mhm.
I do like when they switched, when they were in the apartment and Sam Rockwell got blown up by the grenade, it turned into Henry Cavill just like gliding into a chair.
Yes.
Like-
yeah. They clearly had fun making this movie. That's the other thing is like everybody seemed committed to their roles. Like nobody was phoning it in. Everybody was hamming up their roles. It was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun.
Bryan Cranston's script notes just said chew scenery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got some ham for you, Jason.
Okay.
The last part of the movie.
Yeah.
When they're trying to get the codes to
Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
Right.
He was watching basketball. And it's like,
yeah.
like, who does that? Like, they just sit, hey.
In an office.
Just-
I would be in my house.
Yeah.
I don't know. His little hangout room was pretty awesome.
How does he get Lakers games in the French countryside?
Right?
He is the former head of the CIA. That's how. He
just
get
feel like
anything he wants.
That's like the other side of the planet. Like I just wonder what the time
Streaming.
Well, they showed the picture, which was clearly a very technical diagram of the satellite beam going up to a satellite in space and then back down from France to where, from the boat to the satellite to France.
Also, that whole thing was on a boat. How about
Yes,
that?
it was a
Yeah,
tanker.
how about that?
Yes.
How
That
about
was
that?
crazy.
I just want to know how he got the basketball game in CinemaScope because his view screen was not 16 by 9.
TNT.
That was definitely a 2.4 by 1.
That was a TNT special.
I mean, when you're this director of the CIA, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He called Best Buy. Gotta come.
But overall, for me, though, one of the things that a lot of people complain about, especially with all these sequels and everything coming out, is how unoriginal a lot of the movies are, and a lot of the stuff on TV and all the streaming stuff. This was original. It was fun. It was a great time at the movies. And if you're complaining about wanting, things being unoriginal, go see this. Have a good time. Enjoy it.
I was halfway expecting especially with the runtime and how long the ending was trying to get to the end.
Yeah.
That Bryce Dallas Howard's part of the movie was going to be somebody else's book. That would have been
So
a
let's
crazy end twist.
Book section.
talk about the book.
Yeah.
So when this movie was announced, there was a big old hubbub about who actually wrote the book that this movie was supposedly based on. It was a real book.
Oh.
But they ended up, like, the Hollywood Reporter ended up doing this big like research project to figure out who exactly this author was of this book, like in real life. Couldn't find out the book was written for the movie, and there really is no real author. There was some conspiracy theories that it was actually Taylor Swift that wrote the book in real life.
Huh.
Because of course.
No, it was just a tie-in movie novel.
So like a Scott Lang book.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like for literally 3 years leading up to this movie coming out, people thought it was a real book and just a super secret author.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We're doomed.
Now, now, the big thing about this was that when this movie was announced, Matthew Vaughn, let's see if it's still on here. He was saying that this is going to end up being a franchise. I believe Apple actually already bought the rights to at least a trilogy. I might be misquoting them.
I'm okay.
But yeah, so the end of the movie did tease.
A tie-in.
I'm all right.
Well, the tie-in, but also the Henry Cavill appearance at the very end, where he was
Yeah.
like,
Henry Cavill in a mullet.
In
Yeah,
a mullet
Henry Cavill
with
in
a
a
southern
mullet.
accent.
Sure.
where he's like, I think you actually have some questions for me.
That's not how he said it though.
What?
Say it like he said it.
I can't do it. But anyway, it's teasing more. But how at this point does it work?
I didn't understand the teaser at the end.
I didn't either.
You mean with the
The
Kingsman?
Henry Cavill one?
Yeah,
or the-
did I blink and just miss it? I don't understand it. The guy's in the bar asking for help and he gets a gun.
I think that's him. I think that's the guy that we saw at the book. I think that's Henry Cavill's cameo as a boy. I think that's the tie-in.
They did a
I haven't.
I agree with you, but I think that's what it was.
I'm not sure. So the building specifically said The King's Man, which was the most recent title of the most recent Kingsman movie.
Right.
I'm not sure if there was maybe a reference in that movie that we missed.
Well, didn't Matthew Vaughn direct the first Kingsman movie?
He did all of them.
Oh, he did all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. It was a poor, both were confusing. Both.
Well, yeah, but the Henry Cavill one felt like it should have been. Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to make you wonder what the heck is going on.
Yeah, the 2021, so the most recent Kingsman movie was The King's Man, which was the name on the building. So I think it was kind of trying to tie into that, but I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know if there was a tie in there.
What was the name of the actor that was the bartender? Why did I recognize him? Is that Ralph?
I thought he was in the Kingsman movies.
Well, I think he was.
Yeah, he's in the
Yeah.
newest. He was in The King's Man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Anyway,
that-
I think
Okay.
it's just a way to expand his universe.
Okay.
But, yeah. So
Okay.
kind of teasing more to come, but it's kind of weird because the whole point of this movie has now played itself out. like the book came to life or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there really more to that? Like, how do you make a sequel?
I would be fine if there's nothing after this for this.
Yeah.
It was a great
Well, it's to your point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I don't want this to be another
franchise.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I agree. It's
I would retroactively lower my score to a 2.
In protest. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Is that all there is to say?
That's all she wrote.
That's about it.
Nice.
Good night, everybody.
Nice.
All right.
Very good. Very good.
Make sure you subscribe, click like, leave some comments on this video and all of our other videos. Share us with your friend. Jason, since you're here in person.
Share us with your friend.
Yeah, I was.
The implication that you have one friend.
What should nerds be
Let me
doing?
text them back. Yeah, so go out and see this movie. Yeah, go enjoy it. Just go have a good time. It's a nice fresh take
With
on the
your
movie.
It's a 3.7 out of 5.
Yeah. Just go get some popcorn.
With your friend.
Ignore the rest of these jokers. Share, like, subscribe. But finally, shut up, Nick. Eat, sleep, nerd.
Take it easy.